think that. Those aren't your words. Those aren't your thoughts. And that's why Jamie Foxx and Wendell Pierce, maybe they should be ashamed.
Me giving an apology because I made an incorrect statement, which is not going to erase or invalidate my legitimate reaction to how the public reacts, to the public trying to erase our lived experiences because he has Tourette's.
Nobody's trying to erase your lived experience. What a load of baloney.
How is everyone?
Earlier this week,
I feel like I haven't spoken all day today. Yo, how's everyone? What's up, man? How's everyone been? Let me get my glasses on because obviously I can't really see well when it comes to this sort of stuff. I need to clean stuff. I've been a little bit busier than usual. Appreciate everyone who's obviously seen my reactions and who's been commenting on my reactions. So I do appreciate it. Yo, what is up, people? I appreciate you guys obviously commenting on my reactions. I haven't had a chance to reply to everyone, so sorry. I will do so next week. I've just been a little bit busier than usual, but I really appreciate it. We're not reacting to music, because obviously, as you are aware, we have changed up the concept of the channel. So we're like basically a streaming channel for the time being until further notice. Music reactions, I think I'll just post whenever I want to. I think it's just going to be a feeling. This particular week, it was a feeling that I had, and I just wanted to react to some stuff, and there was a lot of new content that came out. So I just wanted to clarify there won't be any music reactions today because I do want to stem away from this copyright content as much as I can. But we are reacting to what the hell's going on in the world right now. The biggest things that are happening are the BAFTA awards. What is it? What have I got on my title? The BAFTA awards. Jim Carrey, thing that's going on social media. He's like, look completely different. And a couple of Americans reacting to how the UK is developing a new party, but nothing is actually happening. Like nothing has changed. It's just people are speaking out, saying their thoughts on stuff. But it doesn't really whether things are actually going to come into fruition. Who knows? But yo, what is up? I hope you guys are all right. If there's any suggestions, please recommend some. Not music suggestions, but any suggestions in general of anything. Please recommend something so we can react to it. I'm more than happy to dive into some other stuff, some random topics, things that you want to discuss about, debate about. I'd love to give my opinion on it. So if there's anything you're thinking, yo, Kai, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, or have you heard about what's going on in this country? Let me know so we could dive into it, so then we can start debating it. I think you can hear me. I think my mic is on. Yeah. Okay, but let's get into this. If we need to change it, we do need to change it. If you want to know what the hell this is about, it's about the BAFTA awards that happened where Michael B. Jordan and I can't remember Darrell, or no, what's his name? BAFTAs. What's the main guy? What was his name? Delroy Lindo. Yeah, so it's Delroy Lindo, Michael B. Jordan that were basically presenting the next award. Those two were in the movie Sinners. I haven't had a chance to watch the movie, so I really want to go check it out. And then a gentleman called, I believe his name was called John Davidson, or it was like Jason. Oh, my keyboard decides to not work today. Yeah, John Davidson, who's obviously, unfortunately, got Tourette's syndrome. He was invited to the BAFTAs because of his movie that he'd done called I Swear. I think he was the main director of the movie, which was actually a movie based upon his lifestyle and how he grew up and the difficulty of what it was like having Tourette's. So he was invited to it. Unfortunately, his Tourette's syndrome basically like activated. That's like a silly way to put it. Silly way to say it. But like, you know what? He had a Tourette's like in a incontrollable moment and said the N-word, and it's going all over the internet saying when he said the N-word, it was at the time where Michael B. Jordan and D-Roy Lincoln or Lindo came on stage. Everything was quiet, and then people are basically saying he's racist. Some people are saying he's not racist. Some people are like he owes an apology. Other people are saying he doesn't. So this is where we are. I've watched all the videos. I let all the videos go. I've seen different types of videos, but I feel like this Piers Morgan wants a good like summary of what went down. So let's react to it. I'm gonna give you my opinions and my thoughts on it. And then we'll react to some other stuff.
Derided as racially offensive.
I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just trying to impress upon you. I'm like you.
Oh yeah, the
I'm
whole
no
Gavin
better
Newsom
than
thing.
You know, I'm a
We may discuss about this. This might not matter. We may discuss about this, but it's funny. The whole Gavin
960
Newsom
SAT
thing.
guy. And
Basically,
and I'm not trying to
describing
offend
how he's
anyone,
related to
trying
black
to
people.
act all there
Oh,
if you got 940. But literally a 960 SAT guy. I cannot, you've never seen me read a speech because I cannot read a speech.
Well, that was California Governor and presidential hopeful Gavin Newsom, who's accused of telling a primarily black audience that he's relatable because he too can't read. Or more on him later. But I was, of course, really talking about this.
Delroy and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
bleeping it out.
Well, John Davidson was at the BAFTAs in honour of the exceptional movie I Swear, which is a dramatisation of his life with Tourette's syndrome. Most people know by now, also I thought, that Tourette's causes involuntary tics. This often involves belting out the most inappropriate words and insults imaginable.
Yeah.
And John Davidson duly shouted out the N-word while black actors Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo were on stage.
Yeah.
Somehow, one of those N-words made it into the airwaves on the BBC, despite a 2-hour delay, which was successfully used to censor a director who said "Free Palestine." The resulting uproar has been staggering. Davidson was instantly...
Yeah, so that is another thing people are basically complaining about, the fact that, BBC kept that particular phrase of him saying the N-word in the actual BAFTAs awards after it was like basically shown on TV. I don't know if it was 100% if it was a live situation or it was a recorded event and then they posted it. And then they took out some other things. So basically, like, the other stuff, he was having Tourette's when he was obviously having uncontrollable moments. They cut majority of those other things out, especially like homophobic things and him swearing. Also, they cut out someone saying "Free Palestine," but the thing they didn't cut out was him saying the N-word while Michael B. Jordan and Delroy were on stage. So that is they knew what they were doing. Basically, they knew what they were doing.
Branded a racist, as were the people attempting to defend him. Jamie Foxx called it unacceptable and said, nah, he meant that shit. Director John T. Richards has resigned as a BAFTA judge, calling the incident unforgivable and condemning the failure to safeguard the black creative community. Journalist Jamil Hill said that Davidson's inclusion shouldn't be prioritised over the well-being of the other guests. Really? So they should have excluded the man with an actual disability who was invited to receive an award for a movie which raises awareness about his disability from an industry which supposedly cares very deeply about things like disability because your feelings matter more than his.
I believe my the internet's not working best on my side, but I think you did ask a question, SLX, if you are still here. Because I did see it does appear on the chat, but for some reason I can't see it on my end. Like you can see it on a chat on a live, but I don't get why I can't see it on my side. Very weird. I want to see if I can see it on my phone. No, weirdly enough, I can't see it on my phone. So did you? I'm not sure if you're still here, SLX. Let me know if you're still here, bro. I will send a message, just in case you are here or not. I don't think I can tag you. Let me know if you're still here, man, because I can see your question. I just don't know if you may have dropped out of the stream or not, because for some reason I can't see it on my phone, and I can't see it on YouTube. So weird that it's gone through the live chat. Oh, cool, perfect. I don't know why I can't see it. I don't know if you may have deleted it. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's my internet connection. Why can they say it? Now, that is literally probably one of the most difficult questions to ever say. I think it's more like, I personally think it's just a reverse psychology sort of scenario. What I mean by that is because because black people like were in a situation, basically because that was like a very what's what I'm looking for? Insulting word. That'll be an easier way of saying it. I was gonna say, there's another word to like describe someone who's like below you or beneath you, and like is a way to discriminate someone. But I can't pronounce the word properly. But anyway, because it was an insulting word, because it was used to obviously be belittling, I think the whole purpose of it, why black people say to black people, is to be like the whole we're taking that word and like using it against you sort of thing. And I think that's where it kind of stems from, and it's always been like that since the day dot. So whenever black people eventually were able to be like free, or when slavery in itself was stopped, bear in mind, it's up to you if you want to say if it's still on today or not on today. But when it basically stopped for a lot of black people, I think they just kind of used that word to be like, we'll just take that word that they've used to insult us and use it as endearment. That's my assumption. There's not actually like, I don't think there's actually an answer. I don't believe no one can 100% directly tell you why black people can say the N-word to other black people. I just think it's just based upon what you believe and what your assumptions are in the society that you live in. I'm taking it on a basis as I'm taking a word that you've used to insult me, and I'm going to put that as endearment to my fellow like brothers and sisters. And because of that, we're going to take that and we're going to ride with it, and we're going to use that in our advantage. So I just think it just stems maybe from that, and it's evolved into what it is today. And I think that was probably the premise or maybe the foundation of why it got expressed in music a lot, because that's how they spoke in music. And then because unfortunately music helped it get widespreaded, everyone else starts saying it. So yeah, that's my assumption on it. That's what I think. I think it's just like, I'm taking a word that you've used to insult us. I'm going to chuck it out there and obviously use it to my brothers and sisters and make it a word of endearment, and you can't do nothing about it. And then it's just evolved into what it is today. That's what I would say.
This is precisely the problem with identity politics. When it's finished eating everybody else, it has no choice but to eat itself. Davidson's been forced to issue a humbling and heartfelt mea culpa in Variety magazine. But in my view, he shouldn't.
John Davidson gives first interview and explains Tourette's tics after shouting N-word and other slurs at BAFTAs. I felt a wave of shame.
Have had to. Well, joining me to debate this is the lawyer and activist, Dr. Shola Mos-Shogbamamu, Brianna Joy Gray, former press secretary to Bernie Sanders, host of the Bad Faith podcast, from the Nerdrotic YouTube channel Gary Abukla, and Javier DeRusso, the commentator with PragerU. Right. Well, welcome to all of you. Dr. Shola, let me start by just playing something that you did as a video post on your X account, which has been viewed so far by one.
So I get that in a way. On the other side, I also wonder why not avoid the N-word and use another word or something. I totally agree. My overall thoughts of the word. Now, we as human beings we love breaking rules, and nothing can really tell us 100% we can't say something or do something. So we're always going to basically do whatever we want because it's our own choice. So you're never going to stop people from saying it. But I agree with you. I personally think the word itself should be abolished. I personally think the word should be removed from the English language. I think there should be, like, I don't know, like if you say the word, something happens, you might have a fine of some stuff. I don't know, because you can never stop people from like saying it. But I just think the N-word in itself should be abolished, full stop. No one should say it. No human being on this planet should ever say it. It just is. Where the word originated from, there is no good way to like make it sound good, or there's no like positive way to make it sound good in this day and age. I know people use it in music, and then people could be like, well, I'm wrong, Kai, let me show you an example, and they'll like give me an example. I get it, but it will always have that question, or that particular question will always arise, just like you said, SLX Dragon. Why can one person say it and why can't the other people say it? You know what I mean? That question will always be a thing. Or like, why are you allowed to say it to this person and I can't say it to that person? It will just always be a thing. So I think, man, the word itself should be banned, full stop. For example, they call us yep or so on. We are never gonna We're never going to call ourselves that. Yeah, that's a good example. That's a very good example. Black people, bro, we are the worst. We are our own heroes and our own villains at the same time. We are our own worst enemy. And it's so poor. It's so poor. But you're 100% right. You can obviously say like different slurs and different things. But I think the main premise of it is originated from like slavery. I think that's the point, and I think that's what makes it different, because it was originated from slavery. I think the whole point is I'm gonna take that word and use it as power. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that word that was a belittling word, insulting word, a lower demeanor, discriminative type of word. We're gonna take that word and use it as power, and we're gonna call our brothers and sisters that word. What it's evolved to today is something completely different. But I think that's the idea. But I get what you're saying. I get like the point of what you're saying. But this is the doctor in the red is going to give her
0.4 million people.
Now, Piers Morgan's basically going to show a video of what the girl, the lady in the red, just saying about the situation.
That you did as a video post on your X account, which has been viewed so far by 1.4 million people.
Some of you are getting on my last God-given nerves. The fact that I have to come up here to break down for you the ABCs 1, 2, 3 do-re-mis of racism, because some of you have the bombastic audacity to want to litigate the racial intent of a white man and absolve him of racism because of his disability. Now, I'm going to make time for you today. Let me say this in plain English, because I'm not speaking Latin or Swahili. John Davidson is a racist white man with Tourette syndrome. And let me break this down for you.
With what
Tourette
evidence?
syndrome is a disability. Disability is not racism, and it does not make you racist. The Tourette syndrome simply brings out what is already in the heart, mind, and soul of the person speaking. Because as a man thinking,
I disagree.
So is he.
Now, I've got to be honest,
Oh, bro,
Dr.
yeah,
Shaw,
man.
that's one of the most
Let's dive into
disgraceful
that,
and
man.
shameful attacks on somebody with a medically diagnosed disability that I've ever had to endure and witness. Would you like to start by offering a profound apology to John Davidson, who, as anybody who understands Tourette syndrome knows, has absolutely no control over what he says, including any racial insults or slurs he may utter, because people with Tourette's have no control.
Oh, not just to, I noticed that you
Great
don't...
point, Matthew. Matthew, fantastic. I've replied. If there's any videos, you can't send links. Let me just make this clear. You can't send links on the YouTube chat, but I have got Discord that's connected to my YouTube channel. If there's any links you're thinking, hey, Kai, could you react to this? Send it through my Discord. It's connected to the link in the description, as well as my YouTube channel. Send it through my Discord, and then we'll dive into some stuff like that. Great topic. This is what I mean, guys. Give me something to be like, oh, could you dive into this? Could you dive into that? I love to dive into it.
You didn't play the whole video that actually addresses many other points, but not just to John Davidson, because I spoke about this in my live stream. I made an incorrect statement in my video. And by basically by saying that having a bank of words or of vocabulary in your heart, mind, and soul it implies that anybody with a Tourette syndrome subscribe to what has come out of their mouth. So that in itself is harmful to that community. And that community is not just John Davidson. It also includes Black people with Tourette syndrome. So I most definitely, and I'll say that now, because even though I apologized in my live stream yesterday, I unequivocally and apologetically, I'm sorry for the, for that incorrect statement, because that is incorrect. What I also said in my video, which you haven't played, is to address the impact on Black people. And my video was addressing those who are trying to weaponize his disability. So in my attempt to bridge the gap, to address them weaponize his disability to erase the lived experiences of Black people, I ended up creating a gap. And by creating that gap, I am responsible for closing it by acknowledging that it's an incorrect statement, apologizing because it's wrong, and then taking myself back to school to educate myself on Tourette's.
Okay. Now, listen, Tourette's is one thing. Do you get me? Tourette's is something like, let me look up what the definition of Tourette's is. Because I have a basic understanding what I believe it is. So Tourette syndrome is a neurodevelopmental inherited neurological condition characterized by involuntary, repetitive and uncontrollable movements and sounds known as tics. Usually appears in childhood from like 5 to 10, involves both motor and vocal tics that last over a year. While there's no cure, symptoms often improve after the teenage years. Okay, so that's what basically Tourette's is. Basically saying that you you say something about you realizing that you're going to be saying something. But this is where I have a question to put out. And if I don't know if anyone even knows the answer for this, but it's my perspective of it. The word that you blurt out comes from somewhere. It comes from somewhere. It's something in your subconscious, something that you may not be the forefront of your mind of what you're thinking of, but there's something mentally in your subconscious, because at the end of the day, it's something in your brain that's causing it to happen. And we as human beings don't know 100% of our brain. We don't know 100% the ability of our brain. I think we only know about like 10 to 20% of what our brain functions are at the moment. So we don't even know 100% of what our brain is like. But it comes from somewhere. You know what I mean? Like the way you think, like it has to be like in a subconscious of your mind, you see something and you say it. Or it could be things that you just, like your body just can't stop just saying it. That's the argument. That's the thing I think most people are annoyed about this situation. They're not talking about Tourette's. Listen, Tourette's, we are so sorry about the situation. Like, you know what I mean? Unfortunate people live like that. You know what I mean? No one's arguing about Tourette's. And this is what I hate about Piers. Piers, I actually really dislike Piers. I don't know him as a person, but I dislike Piers fully. Piers is so biased. Whatever the topic is about, he always puts the biased foot upon it and he agrees to it to the fullest. And anytime anyone argues it, he shuts them down. This is why I wanted to react to this particular video. But Piers is constantly pushing the Tourette's thing. Everyone knows he has Tourette's. We're sorry that he has Tourette's. We're sorry that people live like this. No one's saying anything like that. But why that particular word when two black people came up? Why did the N-word come out? And then people are arguing that's not what he thinks. We don't even know the full ability of the human brain yet. It might be somewhere in his subconscious. It might be. And his head just like he just reacted. They came, he went, and just reacted. And his brain couldn't stop himself from like not saying that word. So when he saw them, it's like, boom. Is that when you see fat people? Like you just see a fat person. You know, like babies. You know, babies, when they see something, they just blurt it out and they don't like think before they say something. Is that? It comes from somewhere.
Well, it might have been helpful if you actually watched the movie or educated yourself about Tourette's before you launched this attack on John.
I try to make sure I don't
you doubled down.
do everything, but I'll try to skip through most of this.
Well, before the public, hang on, before the public furore that came your way, which forced you into then backing down, you followed up.
It's not because of the public.
Let me finish my point. After John Davidson issued a statement explaining that he has no control over this, you refused to accept it. You said this has to be the whitest non-apology from John Davidson. It's exactly how racist white people don't take responsibility.
Yes.
Can we talk about it, or is that ableist? He shouldn't be apologising for his disability, so why is sorry the hardest thing to say for the impact of his words? So you carried on calling him a racist, even when he explained to you and to everyone who was calling them that actually he has no control over what he says. You continued to call this man who has suffered his entire life from people stereotyping him in this manner.
And I appreciate
you continued to brand him a racist.
Yeah. Let's break this down. He's not a racist, all right? John Davidson is not a racist. So any black person, this is one thing I agree with Piers, and it's where this lady messed up. Any black person that's stating he is a racist is 100% wrong and should apologize for making a statement like that. He's not racist. It's just that word came from somewhere. I don't know why your mind thought of the N-word, but it came from somewhere. But yeah, 100%, he's not a racist. He's not a racist. Anyway, I thought I'm the only one. As I said, I'm not even from the UK, but Hungary. This guy, I only know because of. Oh, okay, yeah. Time speaks like to steak about big things. Oh, you mean me, or do you mean like Piers? Do you mean me, Matthew, or Piers? Also, welcome from Hungary, man. Big shout out to you, man. Big shout out to you, bro. Welcome.
I
from Hungary.
appreciate you advocating for him. But if
That
you take
me?
the time to listen and watch my videos and everything else I've said,
Well, no, as I said, I'm not- Oh, you mean about like Piers?
I've
Oh yeah,
explained
Piers, man.
quite
Piers is biased,
frankly
bro.
that I understand
Piers
that Tourette
just
syndrome, how
jarring.
Tourette syndrome works in terms of the fact that the words come out involuntarily. But as I explain in my videos, racism does not require intent to be racist. That is why I said it was racist. That does not change. My apology does not change that. It is a
No,
racist
SLX
statement
Dragon,
that
man. Thank you for jumping on the stream, man. Really appreciate it. Means a lot, man. Have a good night rest, man. Get ready to go. Oh no, you're a day ahead of us, aren't you? Head to work, man. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully it goes well. And then yeah, I'll catch you hopefully on the next stream. If not, man, soon. Really appreciate it, man.
does not require intent.
Yeah. Piers is annoying. He always like says nothing. Time speaks like a. Oh, 100%. He over exaggerates, man. He's
Syndrome,
biased.
what it does
Piers
is it
biased.
explains how it happens, doesn't justify why it happens, because impact
True.
is what defines it. So when I talked about what was being paraded as his apology, I don't think he called it an apology, but the newspapers and, those with big platforms were calling it an apology. And I said, no, that is not an apology. When you say, I am mortified that you think this was intentional, I don't understand why people are calling it apology. And when I'm speaking to those, again, who are weaponizing his disability. That was what that was about. And let me just say, Piers, I'm not holding him to a different standard, or BAFTA or BBC, because as you rightly pointed out, about it, some words were being blipped out, and we just understood that BBC also blipped out a homophobic slur that he had.
Yeah, BBC messed up, man. BBC might be racist. The BBC might be racist, yeah.
Uttered, but they deliberately left this N-word in. That's not what this is about. I am explaining and trying to address the fact that we are being called ableist, we're being told to be silent, we're being told that we should not have the right to react. And I'm trying to be, and I'm also being considered, not even trying. I understand the harm that statement will make to the entire Tourette community. So that is why I offer my apology. Right. It's the same way I called Kanye West. I did not call a community why not directed at him, but those who are trying to weaponize. However, I understand the impact on him and the people who suffer from Tourette's, the Tourette community. So my apology for making that. It is because I understand the impact, and I give it unreservedly to the Tourette community.
Okay. She talked a lot. She talked about Rosie. She was just repeating herself a bit, so I had to skip some of that.
And yet, coincidentally, your grovelling apologies only came after the public furore. Before that, you had doubled down and kicked.
I don't sound like I'm groveling. I'm standing 10 toes deep.
Before that happened, Dr. Shola,
yes.
Before that happened, you had kicked a guy when he was down. You took a guy who suffered from
Nah, man, see, he's pushing the narrative of the Tourette's. No one's pushing that narrative, bro. No one's pushing it.
Syndrome.
We are so sorry for his experience.
There was a movie being celebrated.
Pushing that narrative.
John Davidson's the man you kicked when he was. John Davidson, you kicked when he was down.
I intend to go watch his movie. I will watch his movie, but you are not. Listen, me giving an apology because I made an incorrect statement, which I rightly say causes harm, is not going to erase or invalidate my legitimate reaction to how the public reacts, to the public trying to erase our lived experiences because he has Tourette's.
Nobody's trying to erase your lived experience.
Yes,
what a load of baloney. What a load of baloney.
This is nonsense.
No.
Nah, I think what. This is a big thing I probably want to say. But I have a big thought upon that. But I think what I'll do is carry on the video because it's very complex thought that I have about that. But that's one part I agree with her. And I'm just going to put a point on it. I'm going to nip a bud on that. And I'm going to try to recap that. But there's one thing I agree with her on that. Something about black people's lived experience, and I'm gonna comment on that a little bit later. He shouts that he's a racist, a paedophile, and terrorist. He literally has no control. Yeah, he's not a racist. Let's just make that clear. John Davidson is not a Ronaldo. I totally agree with you. John Davidson is not a racist. Unfortunately, obviously, he has a syndrome, a condition, Tourette's. Everyone condones that. You know what I mean? We are so sorry for the lived experience that he has of that. 100% I agree. He is not a racist. 100% he has no control over it. That's the whole point of the syndrome. That's the whole point of this diagnosis. The question I have, and I think what a lot of people, why the black community in America are frustrated about this, is the fact why was it that particular word? An example I can give you, obviously I'm not going to say the word. Yeah, anyway, the example I can give you, imagine someone with Tourette's seeing a fat person and the first thing they say is, oh, you fat C word. You know what I mean? Oh, you fat C-U-N-T. And you're thinking, yo, why did you say that? And he's like, oh, sorry, I don't have control over that. It's not what I'm thinking. It's like, well, when I came in the room, that's what you said. So it must have been somewhere in your subconscious for you to be thinking that. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like you were saying that word randomly around. And obviously when I came in, I also caught the fire. No, you said that the moment I came in. So why was that said? That's the point. That's the point I think everyone's kind of moaning about. That N word, like, just, you saw black and you just said that. That's not what you as a person consciously thinks. But subconsciously? And we don't know the full power of the brain? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's another thing about Ronaldo and Matthew. So they don't give a shit about regular people. True. But yeah, another thing to mention Ronaldo, you're 100% right. This is why people are blaming the BBC. He shouted homophobic slurs. He shouted obviously the F word and some other stuff. He said a lot more other vulgar things. But guess what the BBC done? They cut it out. And guess what they didn't cut out? The N word. Why? So this has got nothing to do with racism no more. This is to do with the BBC. Why did the BBC do that? And that's where the blame should go all onto the BBC. And that's where the hate should be like on the BBC. Because then it gets you to question, is the BBC racist? Do you know what I mean? Is the BBC racist? All edited out as, you know, and it's messed up. It's messed up.
Nobody was erasing anyone's lived experience.
Yes,
I'll tell you what
I'm
you
gonna
were
put
doing.
a pin on this.
What
I'm
you
gonna
were
explain
doing.
why I agree with that.
If I may respond.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, if I may
Also, free Palestine. This is crazy. The BBC knew what they were doing. The BBC knew exactly what they were doing.
The person who was trying
messed
to
up with
erase
it.
someone's lived experience was you. You
No,
were
it
trying to
wasn't.
erase John Davidson's
Absolutely
lived
not.
experience
Because
as a man suffering from Tourette's syndrome.
Piers,
Please
stop
don't
being
talk
biased.
over me.
Piers, stop
No,
being
no,
Please
biased.
don't talk over me.
Can I respond?
Let me finish my point. Let me
Well, your
finish
point
my
is already
point.
made.
Then you can respond. If you talk over me, no one can hear either of us. Right?
Okay,
You talk
well, I
about
would
lived
like to
experience. You have the
respond.
brass neck.
Mate.
You have the brass
what?
neck to talk
We're
about.
gonna get into that, bro. Matthew, we're gonna get into that because in your side of the West kind of start to act like the Soviets, bro. We're gonna get into that, man, because there's this whole new political party that's arisen, which Americans have like reacted to. So we're gonna get
About
into that.
lived experience. When
Yes.
you take a
But
man's
yeah, at the
lived
moment,
experience,
yeah.
please let me finish my point. You take a man who has suffered from Tourette's his entire life.
Yes.
If you watch
Yes.
the movie, as I did last night, you will
Which I
see the
will.
hell that man has endured. They were celebrating that film on the night. The actor that plays him won an award. John
Yeah.
Davidson was being celebrated. And
I know
everybody knows that anyone with Tourette's who says these kind of outbursts doesn't have any control or any bank of language or mean them. But you,
Right.
rather than trying to find
No, they don't have control, but there's some form of meaning or connection somewhere in the mind. We may not have the evidence to fully confirm that as human beings, but I'm telling you right now, it comes from somewhere.
that out.
And that could
You
be from
kicked him
anything.
when he
That's
was
got nothing to do with the N-word. That's just, I'm on about in general.
down.
A wide
That's what
That
you
is
did.
a lie.
You erased
got
Nobody
nothing to do with
kicked
that
him
anyway.
while he was down. I was addressing the fact that when it happened, people, as you know, as you heard in my video, I said people with the bombastic capacity to try to erase our lived experiences without them wanting to balance both, that yes, he has a disability that's caused this, but that the impact is real. I mean, when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo heard that word, they froze in that moment. And we all, I don't know about you, but every Black person knew exactly what they're thinking, exactly how they were feeling. Now, I mean, you're doing exactly what I am saying all these other people are doing. All you're doing is focusing on one side of the story. You're only focusing on wanting to weaponize his disability to say, you know what, nothing else matters because
No, to be clear,
I don't know. Weaponize is the right word. Weaponize is the wrong word. But he's leading with it. He's leading with it.
Let me respond. Let me respond.
So they don't give a shit and why, in the first place, people act like this. You mean like they don't give a shit about people with Tourette's, or do you mean like peers don't give a shit about the situation that's happening?
Let me respond. It is you that is weaponizing, and I don't find any of this funny.
Nah, let me move on. I'm gonna move on a little bit.
Let me bring in Nadrolic's Gary Brooklyn. Nadrolic, I was appalled by what Jamie Foxx said about this. And look, there are other strands to this story, like the.
Mate, the issue they had is they invited John Davidson because he was the director of a movie called I Swear, or it was basically the movie's based upon him and his experience of what he was like when he grew up. So I don't know if he 100% directed it, but he was being. I think the movie was being nominated for within the BAFTAs. So they invited him, BBC invited him to be like, to honor the movie and honor himself and be like, let's be a part of it. So let him be a part of it and represent what that movie's about, and obviously the lived experience of people with Tourette's syndrome. And also he's an advocate. He's like a sponsor or a lead person of Tourette's for a particular community. I think if I say particular community, it is a Tourette's community, but I don't know the full ins and outs of it. And then unfortunately, while he was obviously there through the BAFTAs, he was obviously having tics and he blurted out slur words. He said homophobic words. He said some slur words, kept on interrupting. Obviously, he couldn't control it, which is fine. And then when two Black people came on stage, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy, he decided to say the N-word. And everyone was going, what the hell? BBC just cut out Free Palestine because there was a director or actor who gave a speech for his award and said Free Palestine. Any homophobic words or any race or swear words John Davidson said through his tics, BBC cut it out before the final edit when they released it to the public, but decided to not cut out the N-word. And that is like, yeah, BBC, you know what you were doing. You know what you're doing. They know what they were doing. So let's get other people's thoughts on this.
Inexplicably,
and then we'll
not cutting this from what they put out on the air 2 hours later when they were cutting out comments like Free Palestine. It's unbelievable to me they didn't cut out somebody using the N-word, albeit completely inadvertently because they have no control. But that is a BBC cock-up of epic proportions.
We all agree with that.
But in relation to people like Jamie Foxx, for example, in Hollywood, and the general attempt to try and bully John Davidson into this apology to the people of Hollywood who were so hurt and offended, I just found the whole thing so distasteful. It showed a chronic misunderstanding of what Tourette syndrome is, a failure to have any knowledge of his story or the movie about his life or any of it.
That's got nothing to do with it.
I just watched the movie this morning, Piers, and it's really good, by the way, and I recommend everybody.
Look, man, this people playing God ended up bad many times. Yeah, man. BBC
watch it to understand this. And as I posted on
That's
X
what I would
today,
say, man.
The entertainment industry loves
BBC
to say that they are the champions of acceptance and empathy. And they just had the best test to prove that. And they all failed miserably.
Yeah, we all agree with that.
And saying that was his intent is a complete misunderstanding of Tourette's. And we keep on focusing on the N-word. What about all the other things he said that nobody else is talking about? He said F the Queen to the Queen's face, and they show
that's in the movie, bro. That's in the movie.
In the movie. Yeah, and this is a part of this condition that he has to live in. There's no intent behind the word. This is the one time where people can say, you know what? We're going to laugh about this, blow it off, or, show some empathy. The word that they love to use in the entertainment industry, but they have no understanding of. And after listening to that from the doctor, I don't know how you're a doctor, That's
not a medical
the biggest
doctor.
mystery in life. Hey,
I'm
listen,
not a medical doctor.
I've been kicked out of 3 high schools, but I don't know how the hell you became a doctor. But you know what? What a great country! What a great country you live in to hand out doctorates to people who are woefully unqualified. Because that whole argument was a roller coaster.
Well, it was interesting,
there is no intent. You're 100% right. There is no direct intent, because the reason why there's no direct intent, because it's uncontrollable. That's why. So it's not intentional, it's unintentional. Fine. Yeah, we can agree on how the syndrome works. But it came from somewhere, bro. BBC, as much as I know, is our version of MM1. Everybody pays cash for it. Oh, is it? BBC is more like British Broadcasting Channel. I think that's what it stands for. British Broadcasting Channel. BBC is many things. BBC, like, I can't really tell you what BBC actually is, but BBC is like the head of like news, or like they're like promoters. I can't really describe it. I always saw, because BBC have like BBC News, but then you also pay BBC for like your TV license. But then BBC owns like X, Y, and Z. So I don't know, what would you call it? To be fair, the acronym stands for British Broadcasting Channel. That's what it stands for. So maybe it's just a broadcasting sort of company. Nah, I'm completely wrong. British Broadcasting Corporation. That's what it stands for. So it's just a broadcasting. This means it's something that we broadcast multiple different sort of companies on like things. It's just a broadcasting thing. But I disguise. Fair,
it's interesting you referenced the incident with the Queen.
I might have not understood that little last part, but I disguise. I might not understood that, Matthew.
MBE
specifically so let me know what you mean by
his
that.
Work for raising awareness about Tourette syndrome. And when he was introduced to the Queen, he yelled, and I'll say it, he yelled, "Fuck the Queen," in front of her, right? But rather than be offended, the Queen brushed it off, responded straight away, "Congratulations, Mr. Davidson," because she had done a bit of prior research. She understood the person that she was giving this...
There's no evidence to say that she did or didn't.
Honour to, suffered from a condition where he would say things like this without any ability to stop himself saying it and without any intent to cause any offence. And when he was asked about it later, John Davidson said, "I started to relax then because," she said, "I believe you've done lots of television appearances trying to improve people's knowledge of Tourette's." And I said, "I have, Mum. I've done 5 documentaries." And she said, "Gee whiz, I'll have to get the boys to show me some of those one day." In other words, she showed empathy and compassion. She made no big deal of what he said. And it was a very special moment, actually, given how some people would have viewed what he said in front of her. Right? Easy to take the easy route with that and just say, well, he's just offended the Queen in the most disgusting manner. No, he hadn't. She understood.
Yeah.
She understood.
They do many things. But yeah, that was one series that he did. Skins. Yeah.
The whole point of why he was getting
Skins was done in my home city, bro. When the BBC came out, it was actually done in my home city.
The award and the honour from her and from his country was because he had raised awareness for a condition which is crippling for people that have it. You know, when you watch that movie, and I watched it last night, I swear, I urge all my viewers to watch it. It's incredibly powerful. It's very inspiring.
What's that got to do with the situation?
And if you think that anybody with Tourette syndrome I would say in their right mind, but they're not really in their right mind in the moment.
Yeah, but in that moment, why would the Queen respond any different? In that moment, why would the Queen respond any different? How do you expect her to respond? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, she ain't supposed to respond any other way. Like, of course she's going to be pleasant. She's the Queen. What's she going to be, a dickhead? And plus, this is the aftermath. Back then, when he probably did it, internet wasn't probably at the level it was today. So why would a Queen respond? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Michael B. Jordan and Delroy haven't even responded, I don't think, from this. I don't think they have. It's the internet that's responding. So the internet was completely different back then when he met the Queen, bro. Different generation, different, like, circumstances. And what would you expect the Queen to do in that moment? Michael B. Jordan has said nothing about the situation. Delroy, I don't know if he has or hasn't, but I'm pretty sure them two in the moment just, it is what it is, and they just they're moving on from it.
Articulates, I think.
But let me move on. Let me skip this a little bit.
He said it like when
But
the crowd.
he's also using this girl as an example. So this is TikToker girl who's got Tourette syndrome, and she goes, even I say the N word basically, and she splurs out. She goes, what is it? It's not intentional, but this is like a bit difficult because it sounds real dumb to say this, but she is a black person with Tourette's. You know what I mean? Like at some moment, you have no idea when she says the N word. You don't know if she says it when she only speaks to black people. You have no idea if she says it when she sees white people. You have no idea the circumstances in the condition she's in when she says the N word. All she says is, I do say it when I have my tics.
What it's like,
but when it's a black person, it's a bit different.
Listen to this.
The argument's
I've
a
been
little
seeing
different.
a lot of people be like, well, he said it like when the crowd went silent. That is most likely when a tic is going to happen, when you're in public, when you're in complete silence, or when you're trying not to say or do something. So we must understand what coprolalia is. Coprolalia causes involuntary swearing and inappropriate tics. This can include the N-word, slurs, etc. I am a black person, and even I have the N-word tic and slurs as tics.
Yeah,
it's something I don't see many
a good
talk about
point.
because of situations like this. Is it a disappointing thing? Shut up.
That's literally, you've said it on point, Matthew. You have an advantage because you're part of the community. Like it doesn't make sense. You can't use that as an argument. I don't think so. That's my opinion. I've grown up with that. I loved it. Anyway, I agree with you, but I am from Balaton. There are problems. Should be solved. And if you think you've look at Germany and mainly Sweden, dear God. Oh, wow. Mad. I didn't know they were probably worse than us. What is it? Yeah, man. I don't know.
The actual
like,
clip
other
goes on for a lot
really
longer.
bad.
And is,
well, they probably are,
really
man. The UK's not amazing, but it is what it is.
Fascinating.
But you can't.
The
I
point
just don't
she's
think you can use that as an argument.
And I want to bring in, we're being joined now by Dr. Mark Siegel, who's a physician, professor, and medical.
Yeah, this is more of an American thing. The reason why I want to talk about this because America's blown up about it. They're just really
for
blown
Fox
up
News.
about it, man.
Dr. Siegel, great to have you back. You are a doctor, a real one. This whole issue of Tourette's syndrome.
But I'm with you, Matthew. I'm
it
totally
can
the same, man.
manifest in
Doesn't matter what colour
various
you
different
are.
ways. You can have simple tics, which is brief, repetitive movements or sounds involving a few muscle groups, eye blinking, throat clearing. Then you can have complex tics, distinct coordinated patterns of movement, jumping, twisting, or sounds, repeating words or phrases. And then you can get into these rarer forms, which include coprolalia, which is the involuntary swearing, and copropraxia, which is obscene gestures. These affect about 10 to 15% of people with Tourette's, and that's what John Davidson has. But just to clear this up for people who may still be under any sort of delusions about this, somebody that has the condition John Davidson has, they have zero control over what they say, right?
Yeah. We are
and I
aware
want
of
to really
that, bro.
explain that because it should embarrass your first panelist there, who's not a medical doctor. Here's the deal. It's a spectrum disease, meaning there's all types from very mild to very severe. John Davidson has very severe. He was licking lampposts when he was 9 years old. You mean he loved lampposts and was secretly wanting and desiring to lick those lampposts or spit food at his family that caused his father to leave the family? It's not that. It's that he has a severe form of Tourette's. And hooray for John Davidson raising awareness for 300,000 kids or adults in the UK that have this condition, the overall Tourette's, mild to severe, because they get ostracized, because they get stigmatized. The coprolalia that you're talking about, Piers, that's the key here. And that's why Jamie Foxx and Wendell Pierce, maybe they should be ashamed, because what coprolalia means,
Matthew.
it involves the limbic system of the brain, which, yes, I studied. It involves dopamine, which I studied, and serotonin, which I studied. And it's a neurological condition when you have coprolalia where it's not only that you lose control. What's been gotten wrong here is you're not secretly thinking those words. What's been gotten wrong here is you're not secretly thinking those words, but you lose the lid off of them. That's not what's happening. It's that you don't think that. Those aren't your words. Those aren't your thoughts. Those aren't what's behind it. You're not secretly wanting to curse someone and they took the lid off of the pot so the curse spews out. It's that those thoughts have nothing to do with what actually is behind it. And the idea that people would say that shows that they're misinformed. And the fact that that gets propagated is what causes the stigma that he's doing this movie about in the first place. He has no control, A, and he's not thinking those things. They're socially inappropriate terms and expressions and curses that are not what his thoughts are thinking. It's what his brain is spewing out.
Yeah, literally, you just literally said it, bro. He just literally said it. He said it's not what he's thinking, it's what his brain is just like spewing out. You've literally said the point I'm trying to make. His consciousness, his first thought of process in his head is not intentionally or trying to say those words, but somewhere in his mind, in the back of his mind, where there's a subconscious thought, something where his brain, where he's actual not like trying to say the words, and his brain somehow has just triggered that sort of word that's come from somewhere, is why he's saying it. He literally said it. It's not his thought. His brain's just spewing it out. That's the point we're trying to make. But it comes from somewhere. But we don't know exactly where. But his intention, but yeah, he's not directly intentionally trying to like say the words. So I don't believe he's racist, man. But he saw them and then said N. He said the N word.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to skip this. I'm gonna skip some of this so we can get to like the other panels. So I want to hear what the other people got to say, man. Because I don't really know what I don't really care what Piers got to say. I want to hear what the other people got to say.
Now that we know all the facts about this,
facts. Like he said it. He said it.
What's your view of it?
Well, for one, I think the reason that this movie came out and why it's important is because a lot of people don't know exactly what Tourette's is all about and why people are making the exclamations that they're actually making. So I appreciate the gracious apology of the guest that got the facts wrong.
I feel like John should have apologized as well. That's also something else I want to say. I feel like John should have apologized.
And I expect that a lot of the other folks in Hollywood who might have rushed to the judgment that this man had some control over the epithets that he used was wrong. But in some respects, I think the bigger story and the focus here shouldn't be about random people who don't really know very much about Tourette's, which again is why this movie is valuable in the first place, to help people to understand the ailment better, the disability better. But the response of BAFTA and how they selectively chose which kinds of remarks were appropriate to edit out of delayed broadcasts and which were appropriate to include. The fellow panelist here, Nerdrotic, mentioned earlier that why aren't we talking about the other exclamations? Why aren't we talking about the homophobic exclamations, et cetera? I think that's a good question. And part of the answer to that is because those were edited out. BAFTA decided that those were offensive to people, that the viewing audience should not be privy to those. And moreover, edited out not just exhortations from the audience, but the intentional reference to freeing Palestine in a speech by someone who was being rewarded for their work and honored and respected that night, because that was too sensitive, ostensibly, I presume, to certain viewers, not because they're in a protected class or have an identity, but because they support Zionism as an ideology. So BAFTA is an organization with a great deal of power here, as opposed to Jamie Foxx or random people who I agree obviously don't know very much about Tourette's, or they wouldn't have said what they said.
Got nothing to do with that.
Why is it that the same care that was given to the LGBT community or any others that might have been offended that night was not extended to Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo? And specifically, to go to Dr. Shola's point, at what point are we going to take any time in this conversation to ask what BAFTA owed to the presenters, including the two Black presenters, to protect them and to honor their dignity as they stood there at the podium that night and tried to do their jobs?
So that's an interesting point. I know Michael B. Jordan.
I want to get to the last one. This is the guy I want to respond to. All right. So I agree with everything she said. There's other points she does say. I have watched briefly of this video. There is another point she does state, and what she does state, this guy in the top right corner, basically what she emphasizes is she still agrees that he should have probably given an apology. I think she says that. But she basically thinks the situation in itself is messed up. And she does agree on the fact that, like, the N-word, like, why that particular word, it does affect the black community. And she does believe that he should give an apology. And then Piers obviously just shuts her down because he just disagrees with it, because he's a biased person. But I want to get the last panelist vote, and then I'm going to give my opinion and my thoughts on it, and then we're going to move on to something different.
Condition.
You know, I feel like BBC really should be taking a lot of this responsibility for the fact that they did not edit this out. And like you guys
100%.
said, they had 2 hours to
100%.
address that. And I got to say, watching progressives debate whether they're going to defend ableism or racism has been one of the highlights of my year. And when it comes to John Davidson, I don't think he's racist. And obviously, knowing and understanding Tourette syndrome, it is unfortunate that he has to deal with this condition and that this is something that is regular for him. I respect the fact that he is out there raising awareness for Tourette syndrome, but he also needs to have some self-awareness. If your impulses are to the point that you cannot stop yourself from screaming the hard R N-word out on live television, then you might not be meant for the room, sis, because not everybody needs to be uncomfortable and have to sit there and be subject to these outbursts, these racist outbursts, or racist sounding outbursts, I should say, just because we are trying to support that he is putting this documentary out. So I think it's a stretch to sit here and condemn John Davidson, but I do think that John Davidson should not have been in the room in the first place if we were going to run into these situations, and if BBC was not going to do any kind of
okay. But
so you're saying they should segregate. Honestly, he is screaming racist outbursts in the room.
Okay. You're literally saying remove the disabled guy about whom the movie was made because people cannot get their heads around what Tourette syndrome is. It's ridiculous.
Was it possible?
Yes and no.
Well, I don't think that everybody in the room should have to sit there and listen.
Yes, so the lady just said, wouldn't it be possible to sit him further away from the microphone? Like, why do you have to be so close in the vicinity of the microphone? Which is a valid point.
I think
Well, I don't think that everybody in the room should have to sit there and listen to that.
True.
I think safeguards should have been
Actually, you know what? Actually, people, please don't all talk. Please,
Fair.
I'm talking to Javier at the moment. Javier, surely the whole point is they should. To understand the hell of Tourette syndrome, actually, sometimes you have to listen to uncomfortable things. Right? When I watch the movie, it's very uncomfortable in parts.
Yeah.
He says very uncomfortable, very offensive things repeatedly. Right? But then you begin to realize quite quickly he has no control over any of this, and nothing to do with it indicates his real state of mind. And to judge him accordingly and to say, right, yeah, we've got this movie and we're going to give an actor an award for playing you, but you're not allowed in the room because some oversensitive actors might be upset by stuff even when they're told you have no control over it and it's not your real thinking. My message to those actors is grow the fuck up. No offense given or taken.
Now you're just...
Yeah, so... What she says after this, I agree with. So I think the point this Javier guy, the guy with in the middle with the blonde hair, is trying to make. I don't know if he's trying to make it, but what I'm going to expand from what he's saying. This is the final point I'm going to make, and then we're going to obviously dive into a little bit more stuff. So what is it? This people really will make bad literature or like discussions. Obviously, yeah, yeah. Or you mean picture? And it create bad things. Yeah, everybody should realize we eat the same shit. yeah, 100%, man, 100%, Matt. This is the issue, bro. So this is what I think. Overall, this is a devil's advocate opinion. What I've noticed is this is more so maybe, I don't know, an American influence, possibly. But what I've noticed is over time, especially over the years, I just don't think black people get respected enough. And I don't know why, and I'm going to use probably America because it always feels like it's America's like the origin of where things are. Like whenever anything happens with like insulting black people or like belittling the black people, or when it comes to racism, we're always like pushed under, or it's always like just get over it. That sort of impression, or that sort of like like when I say get over it, I'm not sure of an expression, but that sort of saying or that sort of mood or that sort of like motto is what gets put onto like black people, especially in America. I'm not sure. I'm not sure much in the UK. I'm not, and I don't know what it's like in other countries. So we're going to use America as an example, but it's like just get over it. And why is it that when we kind of say enough's enough, and we feel like this is actually where we personally feel like it actually does hurt our community, and we do feel like it's disrespectful. It's got nothing to do with his Tourette's. We are aware of his Tourette's syndrome. We understand it's involuntary. We understand that's not his original intent. We understand that's not his cognitive thought at the moment and at the time. But he still said it, and he should come up and still apologize for that particular word being said, not his Tourette's. Not his Tourette's particularly. And we should be heard, or like American black people should be heard. And we should be like, yo, like that actually did affect us. And why can't you take our words a little bit more seriously? In this day and age, over the past 5 or 6 years, you cannot say anything to do with the LGBT community online because you would get shut down. The whole world mainly the whole world, probably just more so America and the Western side. We had to accommodate and change our whole structural social society to accommodate for the LGBT community. We have to be now so welcoming to that world and welcoming to that place. Sorry, the people. If you say anything bad about it, it's the end of the world for you. It's the end of the world for you. Literally is like that. And it's literally not unfair, but that's the circumstances we currently live in. When it comes to Palestine, the situation Israel and Palestine, we can't say nothing about that. The Israeli people have literally put a lid on it. If you say anything about you're cut off after October 7th, Hamas terrorist group, you're cut off. You can't say nothing about it. But when it comes to black people going, you know what, that did offend us and that did affect us, and we do feel like that was really like disrespectful, discriminative. No, we just get pushed down and we're just like, get over it. People move on. I don't think black people in America probably have helped themselves over the period of time as years have gone by. I don't think we've helped ourselves because black people are their own worst enemies, or we're our own worst enemies as well. But I just think that there is a valid point, and it's a disappointing factor in this world, in this day and age, that when something goes on with black community, or something happens to the black community, or there's things that are going wrong with the black community, it's just get over it. Who cares? Get over it. Move on. But if it's the LGBTQ, you're cancelled. If it's to do with Free Palestine or like Israeli stuff, you're cancelled. I just don't get why we can't be heard and just respected and being like, yo, that was actually racist to black people. We should start hearing black people a lot more, because it's never going to die. Whenever it's to do with black people and the issues, get over it. That's the one thing I'm really disappointed about in this like society and the world that we live in the Western world. Black people, we've enough's enough. Even though we're not helping ourselves, but enough's enough. And I think people should take us a little bit more seriously, man. But we are not helping ourselves, to be honest, bro, in any circumstances. In Hungary, never had been here empire hold slaves. One of the best friends. Oh, wow. Right, no, we never hold slaves. That was Western. Yeah, it was a Western European thing, yeah. We had been sold. No way, but yeah, yeah, bro. The Muslims did as much bad slavery in the past as well. 100%. I can't comment on the past, but slavery was a thing. Do you know what I mean? Black people hang on too much to slavery when literally every single like region like slaved their people. Like white people slaved white people, Egyptians slaved Egyptians, you know what I mean? Africans slaved Africans. It was a thing that happened back in the days. It was very colonial sort of stuff. I'm sorry for you people. I feel equal right for black people, but things happen here too. No, I hear that, bro. I hear that, man. I'm not sure. I don't think the UK is that bad. I personally don't think the UK is that bad. But I just think the issue is, I can only speak of this day and age. When black people are like, yo, something actually did affect us, and why can't people hear us a little bit more? All we get told is just get over it. Get over it. Who cares? Move on. And it's very disappointing to hear that. But the John Davidson situation, he's not a racist. it wasn't his original intent. I do believe he should give an apology. Personally, he should have never said the N-word. But it is what it is. Like he just said it. But he's not a racist. It wasn't his intent, and it's uncontrollable. It's involuntary syndrome, and he can't control it. But BBC messed up. BBC most likely are racist. They cut out all his homophobic stuff. They cut out the Free Palestine stuff, but they decided to keep the N-word there. BBC have to be racist, man. They messed up on that part, and it's all their fault. 100% all their fault. But yeah, John's not a racist, but that word came from somewhere. I hate to say it. That word came from somewhere. Where did it come from? I don't know. But when he saw black people, he said the N-word. We don't know the full power of the brain, man. We don't know the full power. So that's my overall thoughts, man. Black people are not being heard enough. John's not a racist, and BBC messed up. So, what is it? We'll dive into some other stuff. I got some other stuff to dive into anyway. We've got the whole Jim Carrey sort of thing I wanted to dive into. But you mentioned about the new Resident Evil game, Matthew. I'm not sure if you want to talk about that. What? Sorry, I just saw something on my YouTube. Bum bum bum. Is there a new Resident Evil? Like, is it? Where is it? The new Resident Evil game. Is there like a trailer that's out? It'd be nice to like watch a trailer of it. Where am I? Oh, is it Resident Evil 9? Okay. What's the trailer saying, bro? Official trailer, cool. I've never been massively. I've never been a massive fan of Resident Evil. But let's dive into it, bro. But I am curious what you think about Resident Evil 9. Let me just dive into like what some people like their discussions are. Okay.
It's 6 now. 6 survivors of Raccoon City, all dead from the same thing.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, so 7 and 8 had nothing to do with the story. I'm surprised it's still going on, bro.
Yeah,
9 stories
that's not good.
9 stories
Victor
in.
purchased a building after Umbrella went under. The Rhodes Hill Chronic Care Center.
Capcom. Jesus.
You okay? What does Victor want with you?
What do you mean?
The hell is this, bro? What happened to the quality, bro? You know what I mean? Give me 4K, baby. Let me see a little, yeah.
What do you mean?
He grabbed you for a reason.
Yeah, facts.
Did you find anything on Opus?
Not yet. Nothing on the servers of the CIA or the Pentagon.
You are an ignorant fool.
Oh, wow.
Leon, we're running out of time. Why me?
Oh, wow.
The team has settled on a person of interest. A former T-virus researcher.
Jeez.
Because my master made you who you are.
Oh, no way. Oh, no way.
Consider his word all began for me.
I'm
no
coming
way.
with you.
We can talk. What do you want to know?
I don't want any more regrets. Whatever it takes, count me in.
Jesus. Hey, that looks sick. Oh, should we play it? I might play it. I might download it, you know?
It's been a while since you've been back there.
Yeah.
Hey, what did it say? 27th, it's out now, isn't it? 27th of Feb, 2026. All right, so I've never been a fan of zombie games, so I can't really comment on zombie games because obviously I've only recently just gotten through like Until Dawn. But my overall thoughts, I like it. I like it. Let me see what people like opinions are on the game and like what's the people's like overall like assumptions are. But I like it. It looks quite cool. I think the concept looks quite cool. Jesus. Resident Evil. Jesus, bro. Resident Evil 9. Like review or like opinions? Yes, review. Actually, review might be the best word. Okay, let's see what Penguin's got to say about it.
With YouTube Premium, I can download videos ad-free to watch later on.
Oh, did it have nothing to do with it?
I may not be tall.
Let's see what he thinks about it briefly.
But I have played every Resident Evil game.
So I haven't. Like that's the only downside. Like I've never been a fan of like horror games because it took me forever to like kind of get used to it. I like the trailer. I really like the trailer and I like the concept of it. I think it's quite cool. I think the storyline looks quite great. I mean, I feel like I might actually purchase it. I feel like it could be a game that we can play and which we can dive into, which would be quite nice to like get myself into that sort of world.
Mostly, I've played pretty much every unique Resident Evil game. I played them all back to back over the course of a month and a half for the sake of
29 Resident Evil game. 29.
I played them.
How many games are there? How many games are there of Resident Evil? There are 30. Oh my god, there are 13 main Resident Evil titles, including core number entries, remakes, and upcoming releases like Resident Evil Requiem, including spin-off remakes and handheld ports. The total number of Resident Evil games exceeds 30. Oh my god! Why is there so much? Why is there so much? Why is Resident Evil got so many games?
All back to back over the course of like a month and a half for the sake of tier listing every Resident Evil game in the franchise, getting prepared for Resident Evil Requiem, which I just now finished. So naturally, the question on everyone's mind, Charles, how big can you smile?
9 was the same. It has a message. Oh, is it? It seems like the 9 definitely connects to somewhere. 9 definitely like's got a connection from like the previous games. But there's so many, man. 7 and 8 and halfy. Okay.
And now
you say 7 and 8 was out of picture. It was dramatic. Damn.
With that question answered, next, you're probably wondering, was the game good? Yes. Yes, it was. And after having played through nearly every Resident Evil game ever made, I feel like I can confidently say I know ball. I feel like I know Resident Evil like Elon Musk knows ketamine. So when I say what I'm about to say here, just know, this means something, man.
Yeah.
I think Resident Evil Requiem is a top 5 Resident Evil game.
Fair.
I'm saying it. I'm putting it right there.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. The trailer looked fire. The trailer looked fire. I want to know how much it cost. Because PlayStation games nowadays are a fortune to purchase, man. It's a dickhead. Because we might play it, people. We might dive into it. How much it cost? Like 70 quid? God, Lord have mercy. £65. Oh, I might actually play it, you know. It looks quite lit. It looks lit. It's saying it's not out. Am I reading it wrong? Oh, bro, the game looks lit, bro. Bro, am I not able to type? Just from like the trailer alone, it's fire. You get me? Indeed, sadly, 9 halfy was the second part of an action game. Fair. I won't lie to you. It looks lit. Like the trailer, I ain't gonna lie to you, looks fire. So maybe I could put a question, because there's something I can do at the end of this live stream. to like dive into Resident Evil, because we can obviously put a little quiz. I don't know if it's called a quiz, but I don't know if it's a poll. Oh my, bro. Let's...
Out there in the open, you can't take it back. Can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It is an incredible game, actually.
Looks insane.
And what I find extremely impressive
like
is that
Final
this
Fantasy, but like zombies.
Franchise has been around for nearly 3 decades, and yet they are still able to make new games in this franchise that feel fresh and fun. Like, you would expect a franchise that has this many games, like 30-something unique games and like 100-something like ports and fucking Zeebo shit and whatever else they have for Resident Evil, like Java games and all that. You would expect by now it to be beyond milked dry. Just no meat left on the bones. Them titties, them melons, vanquished, devoid of
games can get like that. Games can get to a point where you're just like, what are you squeezing out? You know what I mean? Like, it's like movies, like the what is it? What am I? Too Fast, Too Furious. You're just squeezing out rubbish now. You know what I mean?
Yet somehow with Resident Evil, they are still producing very high quality games.
Yeah.
They had a very bumpy road there for a little while, like a rough patch around Resident Evil 6. Good heavens. Trust me, I know, they really stunk it up there for a while. But once RE7 rolled around, that was literally the fucking cure to the T-virus that was the Resident Evil 6 fucking plague that basically ruined the franchise there for a little while. 7 pioneered a new breath of life into this franchise.
Well, yes, 7, but in 7, 8, no, it was not zombies, and 9 Worth Grayson. Oh, okay. So what, 7 and 8 had nothing to do with zombies? Oh, so what? Because I can't find it. No zombies. Ooh, I might play that then. What was the trailer like? Hold on, before we get, what's the trailer for 7 and 8 saying? Resident Evil 7 trailer. What's that saying?
Whoa.
Oh, you rat. Oh, you're gonna do that to me? Let me try it one more time. Okay, oh, look at that. Third time lucky. What's the... This is number 7. I just want to know what it's about. It was framed per second. No, mainly. Oh, okay. It is, bro. This is scary, big man.
Be careful. They'll be looking for you.
Jeez. 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 What is that? Oh my lord, this guy's not dying. What the hell is he? Does he back up? Watch him get back up.
Daddy's coming. We need to go. We need to go now.
Oh my lord. Oh my god.
What the fuck are you?
Shut up and listen if you want to stay alive. Ethan, you gotta get out of that house.
Jesus! No way. Lost your goddamn mind.
Hold on.
All right, what do you say we play a little game?
What's that move? What's that move? What's that move?
Now, I've seen everything.
What the fuck? What is that?
Oh lord,
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, facts.
They're dead. They're all dead.
This house has seen more than you can imagine, and it knows.
Oh my god.
No, leave me alone!
Wait!
Ethan, don't lose it. It's important.
Oh my god. Bro, I've never played this game, but I ain't gonna lie to you, man. This looks quite fire. This looks like my type of game. This looks like I hate horror games, or thriller games, but this looks like my type of game. This may not be zombie related, but it's still what the hell. Yeah, when did this come out? 9 years ago, it said. Oh my god, looks insane. 9 years ago, it looks insane. 7, 8 is out of Resident Evil, but I suggest check Village trailer. Bro, it looks unreal. It definitely looks unreal, man.
Which was the first-person horror intense stakes. And then they've built upon it. And Resident Evil Requiem marries that gameplay with the iconic, timeless classic gameplay of the action-oriented Resident Evil 4 formula.
Okay.
It takes both of these elements, builds upon them, and makes
definitely thriller based. Definitely still gives you like a shock.
Something very special here with Requiem. So you play as two characters, Grace Ashcroft, who actually is the daughter of a character from Resident Evil Outbreak, which is super hype because Outbreak.
Oh, that's what you said. I think that's what you said, Matthew.
Was a very innovative title for its time that is still very fun to play, even though it's quite janky. And her gameplay is Resident Evil 7 style. It's very horror focused. It's slower paced. You're not juiced to the gills with ammo. You have to use stealth. You have to struggle. It's very intense. Then you also play as Leon in Requiem. And it's just like in RE4 where it is cheesy, over-the-top action. And these two flow back and forth. And for some people it won't like flow seamlessly because you do go from like survival horror over here to action horror over here, like right back to back.
Yeah.
Because you flip-flop between the two of them. So for some people that might be jarring and not super smooth and feel like tonal whiplash, but for me...
Give me a second. I really, really need a toilet. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go pop the toilet. But let me just get a bit more of his opinion on this, because I kind of like what I'm seeing so far. So give me a second. Yeah, I'm back now. But I just want to make sure my mic was on. All right.
I loved it because I love Resident Evil 7 and I love Resident Evil 4. 7 is actually my second favorite Resident Evil game.
Based on the trailer, bro. Look, fire.
Evil 4 OG is my third favorite game. My first favorite is OG Resident Evil 3. There's not a whole lot of OG Resident Evil 3 DNA in here outside of...
So you're telling me I can straighten my teeth in as little as 4 to 6
Even I suffer with
months from
adverts,
just
people.
38.
Even with my ad block, I suffer with adverts.
Little something at the end of the game, I won't spoil it. But anyway, I really think the game is great. I think the story is super strong too. I've seen some people criticize the writing, and I do get it in certain instances. You could say like, writing got a little wacky here and there, but I actually think it's really strong.
Fair.
And it's one of those things that didn't just rely on nostalgia baiting like, here comes beloved character from the franchise riding in on a fucking unicorn to save the day out of nowhere. And then, do you remember this? Well, good news, it's back. And do you remember that? Yeah, it's back too. But what about this? Do you remember this from old Resident Evil? Also back. And just like shoehorning all these cameos in there for the sake of fan service. It doesn't do that. It stands on its own two legs.
Okay.
And yes, there are some returning characters and some things from previous Resident Evil games in here, but they flow really well into the story that they create.
Okay.
The story revolves around Grace. She is investigating a very... I'm actually avoiding spoilers for this review, which is something I don't do often, but I really, really enjoyed Requiem, and I want to show it some respect here without just spoiling things, and also anyone that's watching this that wants to know my thoughts on it without like having everything ruined for them. This is me avoiding spoilers. It follows Grace after an investigation, gets all cattywampus, and she runs into a real oddball named Victor Gideon. Victor Gideon...
Of course, Victor. The weirdos are always called Victor.
Kidnaps her, Leon gets brought into the fold, and he finds himself needing to make a journey all the way back to Raccoon City, where it all began for Leon Kennedy.
Okay.
And also, why are they so interested in Grace? Why did she get kidnapped? What the fuck is going on? That's the broad strokes of it. Now, Grace is a new character, and she's actually a really good character, I'm happy to say.
I love this guy. I think we both the size of his... yeah. Oh, fair. I think we both the size of his hair. Bro, yeah, his hair's crazy, man. But this guy, Penguin, is a legend. He's a legend in the community.
Also, huge shout out to her voice actress. The voice actress that played Grace did an unbelievable job. The way she was able to convey terror and panic in her performance for this character was extremely realistic, and it really helped elevate things. So even though I will admit there were times where the writing got a little off the mark and felt a bit off, her performance was still able to sell it to the point where it wasn't like jarring and make you go, ooh, yuck, that was trash. It's just more like, that felt a little weird, but the performance helped salvage some of those moments. And that's across the board. Pretty much everyone gives a really good performance in this game. And I think that really helps in that regard. But like I said, I do think the writing is solid. I think they do a good job with Grace. I think she is a well-written character.
Yeah.
I think some people might be annoyed by her because she has like anxiety. So maybe some people might find her to be like maybe a little too timid or, not confident enough for a Resident Evil game where you follow characters like fucking Leon Kennedy, who's a superhuman, hanging hog, blowing zombies' heads off, fucking ripping their nipples off and beating them to death with them. Like, she is very different as a protagonist compared to them, but she's not like the full protagonist because, like I said, you split evenly with Leon.
Fair.
It is like a very even split with Grace gameplay and Leon gameplay. It's very nice. You feel like you get a ton of both. But anyway,
you actually get to be her. Oh, interesting. Most of the time, most games like that, you never get to be the other protagonist. You only play as like the main person, which is obviously Leon. So to actually switch up the concept to be like, oh, you can also be Grace as well. That's big. That's probably why this game slaps it as well. Like maybe it is an added addition to why this game's actually like really good. Because you're not just playing one person, you're playing two people. I like when companies do that. When they release a game, I like when there's like more than one protagonist. Even though the story is mainly about Grace, you actually get to play as that person. That's very good, man. That's a very great way to like encourage people to like dive into the game. Oh, phenomenal, man. If you never play 7, 8, it's different. Yeah, being honest, my ex-girlfriend at 15 years old forced me to play games, and it was Resident Evil 5. Although I hated it ever since I played many. But yeah. What, do you not like it? Listen, I've never played the game, but for my opinion, trailer looks fire. I would love to play it. Number 7 looks fire as well. I would love to dive into it. I might purchase it. Just see what
I'm saying is, I think Grace is a good character. They do a good job with her. Now let's talk about the gameplay. It's so
cool that you get to play like 2 people.
Pretty much exactly what you're expecting. If you've played Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Resident Evil 2 Remake, you get that kind of gameplay. You get all of that in one package here. So when you're playing Grace, you're going to be using stealth. You're going to be needing to be more mindful of what encounters you take, going loud, using your ammo, versus which ones you use a little stealth kill with, which aren't free, by the way. You can't just stealth kill things for free as Grace. You have to make something, which is a little vial that you stab into them and they blow up like you just planted dynamite in their body. So those cost resources. And the way that Grace crafts, I thought was very creative. You get a blood collector, you collect blood from killed enemies, or even sometimes like blood from enemies that had already previously been killed, or even buckets of blood in the world. And you will fill up that blood holder, that apparatus, and then you will combine that with, an herb if you want to make a med injector for heals, or you'll combine it with, some scrap if you want to make ammo for your handgun, or if you want to make that, one-time use insta-kill stealth jab. So her gameplay is very similar to Resident Evil 7's gameplay, but you have even less tools at your disposal to fight the zombies with.
So it's not given to, okay, so this game's completely different. This game's kind of like those fantasy games that you have to make sure you get particular items to craft your equipment. Interesting. I know a lot of games can be like that. My bad. Is what I'm trying to figure out, is it like a Witcher? You know what I mean? Like if you ever play Witcher 3, you have to craft to create items, but Witcher 3 is a complex game. If you want to craft something, you would have to travel and go to different places and go to different shops and do a lot of side missions to get this particular item, that particular item, purchase this, purchase that. And you have to put a lot of hours and time into that to build what you want to build. Is it kind of like a Witcher style of crafting, that sort of gameplay, adventures? Or is it more like fantasy? Like if you play a fantasy gameplay, what you do with the fantasy gameplay is you may have to craft some stuff, but as you play the main storyline, the items has come to you naturally. You don't really have to go out of your way to kind of do anything. The items come to you naturally, and then you just go into your item crafting part, and you're like, all right, cool, I need to just do this and do that, switch this, switch that, place this and place that. And then you get the things you need. It's very easy for you. What sort of level of crafting is it? Yeah, look, man, I know yours. You currently talk about politics, but you have your own life. I thought I may. Oh, no, that's fine, bro. I love to talk about stuff like this, man. I don't talk about politics, man. Politics ain't my main thing. My whole point is I want to react, bro. My intention is to react to anything. We just got to get a little bit away from the copyright content. That's all. No. Even though I've never played a game before, man, it's always good to discuss about stuff. You know what I mean? So sort of. So it's kind of like the Witcher sort of stuff. Okay, cool. I might not purchase it. If it's like the Witcher sort of crafting where you have to just go to this place, go to that place. If you didn't get this item, if you didn't travel over to this location, if you didn't obviously attack that thing, you have to go upstairs, go back downstairs. I'm a good guy at playing games, but that sort of stuff is just I hate dragging it out. I hate doing all that effort just to create something. I'm a guy who, this is probably a bad gameplay, bad way of saying it, but with fantasy games, you just do the game and a lot of the items come to you. You don't have to worry about it. And you just craft what you craft. That's so much easier. But not every game's like that. And the games that are like Witcher, where you have to go out your way to do some things, that's a different category of games. You get what I'm saying? That just falls under a different situation. But if it is like that, it might not be my cup of tea. I might watch a couple of gameplay
You only have two guns. You have a pistol, and then you have Requiem, the big iron, the fucking
Oh, no,
big
100%,
tuna.
bro. Nah, it's all good, bro.
Outside of that, that's it. That's all you have to use, the fucking big tuna. You have a pistol, and then you have Requiem, the big iron, the fucking big tuna. Outside of that, that's it. That's all you have to use to beat the enemies around you, which is why you need to be a little smarter about it and also be slower about it. Now, Leon's gameplay is exactly what you're expecting it to be if you've played Resident Evil 4. It's bombastic, it's over the top, it's high octane, you're killing hundreds of zombies, and there's a really cool change they made to how you upgrade your weapons with Leon. So, this time around, they reward you for being aggressive. So you get a tracker that when you kill a zombie gives you credits on your tracker that you then spend to get ammo or upgrades for your weapons, that kind of thing. So it incentivizes you to...
A mother stretches
It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both.
across-
Why is my... Bro, no one wants this, big man. What? They've like literally... No. They've literally turned it off. That's what they've done. They've turned it off. They've literally turned it off, bro. What? How have you done this? That's why it's not working.
I may not be tall, but I have played every Resident Evil. Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 4 previously been killed. Her gameplay is very similar to Resident Evil 7's gameplay, but you have even less tools at your disposal to fight.
They turn off my ads, bro. Fair. I'm so confused what the hell's going on there.
Change they made to how you upgrade your weapons with Leon. So this time around, they reward you for being aggressive. So you get a tracker that when you kill a zombie gives you credits on your tracker that you then spend to...
Okay. Fair. If you haven't played Witcher, then maybe it's like the fantasy game. Then maybe it's a simpler version. Okay, cool.
You get
cool.
ammo or
Maybe
upgrades for your weapons. That kind of thing.
I might have got it wrong. Maybe the way they upgrade things is naturally that comes to you, so you don't have to go out your way too much. But he did say Grace's character is a bit like that.
So it incentivizes you to fucking annihilate everything that's around you. Leave no survivors. So, which is a really fun thing to do. It gives you plenty of resources to do it as well. It gives you a lot of fun guns to play with, even though I do think the guns are a little underwhelming. Like, they don't have the same kind of character that I feel they used to have. Like, I remember playing through Resident Evil 4 OG, you'd have chat be like, I'm fucking Team Red 9. No, Red 9's trash. And you'd actually have like a debate about what guns are the most fun to use. Here, every gun feels just very generic, very samey. Like, they don't have like a unique identity to them or anything this time around. I don't think there's going to be like really passionate, fucking W870 shotgun fans or something, right? I could be wrong, but for me, it felt like the guns were just very standard. I guess I would have liked to see a little bit more there.
Fair.
But it's not the biggest deal in the world because they are still fun to use, and you get plenty of opportunities to use them and kill zombies. His gameplay, I think, is great, and I really like that new system they did with tracking kills and rewarding you for killing.
Man, The Witcher is a book, but it also became a game, but it is a book.
Like previously in Resident Evil games, the optimal strategy sometimes would boil down to kneecapping, kicking, and then running by to conserve ammo. Here, it's like, you can do that, you can be a pussy if you want, or you can kill all these zombies and get yourself a lot of money and basically max out your weapons really easily.
Fair.
Which I think is very cool. I think it's very fun.
Fair.
Now, something else that's been kind of core to the Resident Evil identity is puzzles. Resident Evil games have always had a lot of puzzles. There's not usually like a ton of brain busters or anything like that, but there are puzzles in there. Resident Evil Requiem doesn't really have that. It's much more in line with like your standard scavenger hunt style game where go over here, grab this to take back to something you passed at the very beginning of the level to open that door so you can go in there, grab that and put it over there. Which again is very Resident Evil. That's in every RE game ever made. But there's never really like any puzzles to this anymore now in Requiem.
Fair. That sort of gameplay though, I love though.
Yeah,
that sort of gameplay, that's my forte.
Like 3 off the top of my head I can think of that are even remotely puzzles, but the solution is in a picture that's in the same room, so you just look at the picture and you see it. I guess it's not the biggest deal in the world, and maybe there's some people that even view that as a positive thing because it keeps the pacing like fucking cutthroat, like you're constantly moving and you never stop to have to solve a puzzle. But I don't know, I felt like it was kind of sad to not have to like solve puzzles to accomplish things. It's just literally going and fucking fetch questing shit and bringing it back and forth. But not the biggest deal in the world, but it is something that I think people will notice is absent. Another thing that I have like a small complaint on is there are a couple sections I think
what's my best game? Like what the best game I've ever played? Like what's my favorite?
The most notable one is a flashback sequence where you're playing as a child who's running and hiding from a lot of bad stuff that's going on around them. And it's like a cool sequence when it starts, but it goes on for quite a while, and there are times where you literally hide in one spot for like 2 straight minutes of nothing. So it feels like really slow, like unnecessarily long and drawn out. And there's a couple of moments like that, like a couple of places you go that feel like, okay, we've kind of been here long enough. Do I really need to get this many things in order to progress, or wait this long to progress? It does feel like it does have moments that are there to pad out time. And it's not that long of a game. And I know this has actually been a complaint from quite a few people because the price tag is $70. It's an expensive game. It has the big AAA price tag on it, and it's roughly like 12 hours long. It took me about 12 hours. Total like active playtime was 8 hours and something minutes. I played through on just standard modern. So it was pretty quick. I would also say this is the easiest Resident Evil game I've ever played. But again, it's about 12 hours long, and that was with me exploring a lot. I didn't just beeline everything.
What game are you on about, Matt? Matt, what game are you on about, bro? What are you referring to? So, because what's your fact game? I never played. Are you on about you've never played Resident Evil? What are you referring to?
I read every fucking note. I found every single safe and opened every single one. Even got the achievement for it. I went out of my way to find pretty much every charm and every bobblehead, but I guess I missed a couple bobbleheads somewhere. I don't know where. I spent a lot of time exploring because I got really engrossed in the game, which speaks volumes to just how much it was able to draw me in. But it is about 12 hours for $70, and a lot of people say that that's way too short to justify that purchase.
Fair.
And I can understand that because $70 is expensive. That's a very expensive
100%,
game.
Bro. Everything's,
but I think
everything's expensive.
This is 12 very, very solid hours. This does not have any huge blemishes. Like, it doesn't fall off a cliff anywhere along.
Wait, I'm so confused. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
The way, like, notably with Resident Evil 7, the whole boat section everyone hates, myself included. That section is by far the weakest, unfortunately. But, like, it doesn't have anything like that. This is 12 extremely solid, extremely fun hours.
Okay.
So for me, the $70 felt worth it. That felt fine to me. But for someone else, maybe 12 hours just really isn't enough. The replayability on this doesn't seem to be super huge. It doesn't seem like there's a ton of replayability outside of going back and doing, like, Insanity. So I don't know how many hours you can squeeze out of it for $70, but I personally feel like it was 12 extremely strong hours. It was a fucking heater from start to finish. So I thought it was a fine price tag for the experience I got. And now, speaking of the experience I got, apparently I got something nobody else in the world did. For some reason, I had a very weird bug where occasionally the game would stutter during a cutscene and then the audio would desync. So the cutscene would stutter and then it would play, but the audio would lag like 2 or 3 seconds behind. So you would be seeing the cutscene play out completely silent until the audio caught up to it. So everything was desynced from time to time.
So mine was like, I had that issue when I played Until Dawn. I don't know if it was because of the poor quality or it might have been my PlayStation.
And the only way I could fix that was by restarting the game.
No. Sorry, man. No, sorry, that's my fault, man. Sorry, maybe I just said the wrong word.
Like, updated drivers, restarted my computer and everything in between streams.
Maybe, my bad. I probably said fave. Sorry, I probably said fave, which means like my favorite game. So I think I said maybe, I don't know what type of game. Oh, I think when he said, what is it? I know what you're on about. When he said basically, when you're Leon, all you got to do is go to point A to point B, and then maybe you have to go to point C, back to point B, then go back to point A to point B to get items. He said, oh, that's what he tends to do. And I go, oh, that's great. I love games like that. That's my favorite game. That's what I said. But I must have said fave, and I must have said it really fast. So sorry. I think that's what he meant. But yeah, I had that issue, the desyncing with the audio of what he's referring to. I had that issue with my Until Dawn game. And I don't know if it's because of my PlayStation or the fact that it's just an old game.
Still
that
persisted,
came out
but apparently it's
ago.
a bug that didn't happen to anybody else, and I can't even find anyone talking about that bug. So it seems like something that only happened to me for some reason. I don't really get why. So I guess I can't hold it against the game as like a bug that's native to it unless someone else out there is reporting it happening to them. So I can only speak to my experience. It was extremely annoying. That shit like would ruin cutscenes. It happened to me in the final cutscene, and I literally just restarted it, redid the boss fight, and just took it from the top because I wasn't going to let it ruin the finale.
Fair.
It was a very annoying bug. I don't understand why it was happening, but I couldn't fix it outside of just restarting the game. Though I don't think it is a bug you'll probably experience if you try the game. It is something I wanted to make a mention of because that is by far the biggest headache I had when playing the game, and it looks like it might have somehow been my fault.
I don't know, man. It was a weird audio issue I had as well when I played Until Dawn. I've streamed it. It's on my YouTube channel, so you can check it. It was on this channel. But yeah, I don't know. I had that same issue, surprisingly.
There is also one other complaint I have, but it's a big spoiler. This is your big spoiler warning. Big spoiler warning.
Don't bother me.
All right, now, this is one of the things I would talk about when it would come to being like writing decisions that I think were a little whack. There is a very cool new character they introduce in here named Zeno, and he is a Wesker clone. And he is super fucking badass. He is positioned for half the game as like the big bad, like this guy is serious business. And when you get to the end of the game, it's looking like you're about to have a huge fight with Zeno, and then he just gets one-tapped by Victor. Like, just insta-killed by Victor.
Aww.
You don't fight Zeno. He just instantly gets his cheeks clapped. You can't fight Zeno. He's a fraud. He's literally a fraud. And it was so deflating because I was really looking forward to seeing more of Zeno and actually getting to fight with him. But instead, he just gets bent over. It was just disappointing. It didn't even feel like a good subversion of your expectations or like a, ha, gotcha, he wasn't actually the big bad. It was this guy the whole time. It didn't even feel like that. It just felt like, that was kind of weak. Why would you do that? You've really hyped him up. You've shown some of his powers. It was looking like a really cool sequence that we just saw and what we were expecting to get, and now it's just not there. It just felt underwhelming to have him killed off like that. That really let me down, actually. And that's just one of a couple writing decisions that I do think were a little odd for as like a path that they chose to go.
But overall, that's the whole point of it. Overall, man, the game seems quite fire. It seems like when you're playing Grace, you're going to have to be a bit more meticulous with how you play. You're going to have to be a bit more gentle of how you play. If you don't upgrade her equipment, if you don't actually improve her equipment, it's going to be harder for you to actually kill the monsters. It seems like Leon is all badass, bad action, quite simple, quite easy to, upgrade your weapons, kill the monsters. He's one obviously jumps in and obviously gets a bit more serious. But it's the Grace one that's going to be the most difficult. But overall, the concept of the game, the storyline's probably insane. The storyline's probably amazing. There's probably a lot of stuff that's in the storyline that kind of keeps you engaging. From what he said, it's a 12-hour game, so it's not a long game. I think this is what's happening nowadays in the industry, and I don't think a lot of people are liking it. Games are costing so much money nowadays, but they're not really putting out a lot of time and a lot of playable game like hours in it, other than probably Elden Ring, which is an unreal long game. Games like that, Witcher 3 is very similar, Dark Souls is very similar, that sort of category of games, endless hours and hours and hours. But games like this, I don't think the £70 is justified. I personally don't think so. People are going to purchase the game regardless, so if you drop it down to like 50 quid, people are probably still going to purchase it, but I don't think the length of that hour is justified on the price. I don't care how good the game is. I honestly don't care how good the game is. or how intense the storyline is. Yeah, £70 for a game is just getting too much. It's going to get to a point where games are going to cost over £100 and it's going to be worth like 10-hour gameplay. It's too much. Stop doing that. Yeah, people are just going to be like, listen, I can't be asked to purchase a game. I'm just going to like waste my time. I'm just going to wait for the price to go down and then I'll purchase it. The downside is there's a lot of games that have come out over the many years and they're still quite expensive to purchase. Like I looked at one of the Resident Evil games when I was looking at the price of number 9. Some of them are like 35 quid, stuff like that. It's just like, it's still like, there's still a lot of stuff that's like, what is it? Still quite expensive or still quite like a bit of money, and games came out like ages ago. So yeah, there's a lot of like, that's probably the only downside. I don't think games should ever cost like 70 quid. I think they should drop down back to £50. And then people can purchase it, and regardless of the length, it's perfectly fine. You're still gonna make money, but companies are just being like silly nowadays. But overall, it does sound like a fire game. It definitely sounds like my type of game. I might actually purchase it, even though I just complained about everything. What is that? I don't think I want to spoil about what they do. Oh, who cares, man? Who cares? I've never played the game. I don't really care if you spoil. Nothing compared to 8 ending. Well, mate, the only problem with you is you are the problem being normal. You are right. For streaming, you spend hella cash and get nothing. Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, 100%. What is it? I don't know if I complain about the price and like the length of it, but then I'm like, I might purchase it. Contradicting myself. But it definitely sounds like my type of game. It definitely sounds like something I probably would actually play. I really like what he's described about it. I think the storytelling of what Penguin has done to explain it, I think he's nailed it on point. I think he's nailed it to the T. I think it's really cool. I think it's really nice, man. So I think he explained it pretty well. For someone like myself who's not obviously into the game, or someone who's actually new to the game, who's never played it, I think he's done a great way of introducing it to people that, like myself, that probably want to dive into it. So I rate it. My overall thoughts, I guess we're going to find out if I do purchase it and if I do play it. But Penguin's done a fantastic job for regular people who are fans of Resident Evil and people who are really like new to the game and don't know nothing about it. I think he's done a fantastic way of introducing it for both points of views, or both points of size, a different perspective. So yeah. Now, it is whether I want to purchase it or not. That's all it comes down to, is whether I feel like I want to actually purchase it or not. Now, last thing we're going to quickly stream about, because of the time. We're not going to go too much into this, because I do think there is a lot more to... There's I know it's why both of us need it. Oh no, I definitely don't need his hair. Definitely don't need. But Penguin is lit. Maybe I should save this. Yeah. We're going to dive into maybe one more thing. We'll dive into this video of it, actually. This might be a good version. Yeah, this might be a good, like, 10 minutes about it. I want to see what she thinks. He drops the mic on white guilt and anti-white racism. Let's see what she's saying. This is to do with the whole new UK party that's created. However, we don't have to discuss about this. If there's any other thing you want to talk about, please let me know. Dive into it, people. My bad. Yeah, if there's anything you want to talk about, please let me know.
To the young white men who feel ignored and insulted.
But this is to do with basically this guy, man. He used to be part of like UK Reform, which is this whole Nigel Farage thing that's like popping off, and American people are just like, I think they're taking this guy as like like as God right now. American people are like, oh my God, the UK's changing. The UK's, oh my God, like things are going crazy in the UK. And I think people just need to take it with a pinch of salt. Like people are like, oh, the UK's finally getting to reality. Things are changing. Like, listen, until action becomes real, until all of this becomes a legit thing, people are just, all these UK politicians, they're just speaking. Nothing's gonna happen until someone like literally does something, and actually like until reality becomes like a natural thing. It don't mean nothing, bro. He's just speaking, and he's right now he's speaking. This guy's speaking a lot on Twitter, and nothing's being confirmed, man. Nothing's being. I think in real life, not in the phone, can be dudes, mates, whatever. Sleep. No worries, bro. Have a good night, man. Have a good night, bro. Thank you, Matthew, for coming to the stream, bro. Really appreciate it, bro. It means a lot. Actually, considering it, I've just noticed the time, and it's almost hitting 2 hours. We're going to do this another time, actually. We're going to do this on another stream. That's what we're going to do. So let me adjust the title. Because I'm going to drop off now, actually. What the F is going on? Yeah, I'm aware. All right, oh, sorry. I'm gonna call it quits as well, actually, because I've just looked at the time. We're almost hitting 2 hours, and it's pretty late over here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna end it here, but I'm gonna save these videos in case we do want to talk about it later, until obviously something else pops up. But great thoughts, great opinions, great suggestions. Really like how you wanted me to discuss about Resident Evil, so I think that was really great to discuss about. Really enjoyed that perspective. I don't know much about the game, and I think Penguin did a phenomenal example or storytelling of the game, so I think we smashed it on there. So Matthew, thank you for that. Great input. Let's do more of that, people. If we're going to start reacting / debating on things that are going on in life, please let me know what you want to react to. Give me your topics, give me your thoughts. Be like, yo, Kai, let's look into this. Kai, let's look into that. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? More of that sort of stuff is what I would love to obviously discuss about, whatever it is that's going on in the world, so we can obviously start giving reactions, reviews, opinions, and thoughts on it, so then we can start discussing it in the chat. I want to hopefully dive into more of that and create more of that in long-term goal. But in general, I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I hope you really appreciate it. Thank you for being part of it. Until next time, I will set up a new stream for next Tuesday, roughly same sort of time, 9 p.m. onwards, roughly for like an hour / 2 hours. But I'm over and out. Till next time, people. Peace. It, so then we can start discussing it in the chat. I want to hopefully dive into more of that and create more of that in next time, people. Peace.